We were on an easy peasy flight from Chicago to LaGuardia, something that should have taken a little less than 2 hours. But unbeknownst to us, there was the storm of the century that had grabbed hold of the eastern seaboard in its angry maw and shook it uncontrollably, not like an earthquake, but like the tears of Zeus, the god of thunder, had rained upon all of the East Coast. And we were diverted. At first, we were told the plane was being diverted to Pennsylvania, which wouldn't have been a far drive for us. But then the plane touched down, and I was like, oh, here we are in Pennsylvania. And the pilot said, folks, welcome to Cleveland. He said, all of the airports on the eastern seaboard have been shut down. We have a stop fly.
A ground stop.
A ground stop flying. You're stopping flies.
Yep.
And so Jimmy texted me from a few rows back and said, I rented a car. So Jimmy Failla, here we are.
Here we are.
And so what happened? You tell me your version of events.
Well, it's important for the audience to know that at the time our flight was diverted, the weather was so severe that the Yankees were playing 9 innings of baseball a mile from the airport. We were told it was an hour and 20-minute flight from Chicago to New York. We got about 30 minutes into that flight when the shenanigans started. We had encountered a thunderstorm in western Pennsylvania. They suspended beverage service, told us, we're in some real turbulent weather. Just buckle up.
Can I just stop you for a second? When did they start making planes with Reynolds wrap?
Yeah.
Because I was always told that planes were so strong and hardy that they could withstand a F5 hurricane and be completely fine.
Well, what are the joys of getting into a plane with a student driver sign on the door? Our plane had a bumper sticker that said, don't follow me, I'm lost. It wasn't the best look. But anyway, we get on this United flight. And halfway to New York, we get told, due to the inclement weather that's approaching New York, we can't land there. And we're going to go into a holding pattern for 45 minutes.
That's right. So we went into the holding pattern.
He said there's a 45-minute holding pattern.
That happens. There's nothing you can do about it. You just sit back.
But stick with me now.
If you've got it, and that's a 45-minute holding pattern, I'm fine with that. But then
he comes back on.
Took a bit of a turn.
So he said, hey, we're in a holding pattern. There's 6 planes in front of us. It's going to be about 45 minutes till we have an update.
But
5 minutes later, we get an update. And he goes, oh, folks, I apologize for this. Seem to be the victims of bad math up here in the cockpit, which are not words you want to hear at 35,000 feet. But he says, we do not have the fuel for a 45-minute hold.
That's great.
So we have to land in western Pennsylvania immediately.
Perfect.
We'll be on the ground in 20 minutes. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for landing. Okay, at which point we're like,
we
wow.
don't have enough gas.
It was a very ratchet experience.
But then you hear we're landing somewhere in vague Pennsylvania. We've run out of gas.
The words are western Pennsylvania. I'm not even told it's an airport. Maybe it's a field. I don't know.
Field?
I just know it's western Pennsylvania.
I know what they do in western Pennsylvania in those fields.
Oh, do you ever?
God help the sheep.
The rent don't pay itself. But anyway, we land, at which point we are welcomed to Cleveland International Airport. And my spidey sense, if you will.
I think the flight attendant misspoke when she said, welcome to Cleveland.
Yes, because Cleveland was never discussed.
Spinal Tap?
Yeah. Hello, Cleveland. So Cleveland was never discussed. But anyway, we're on the ground in Cleveland, and I immediately deduced that this is going to be a Lord of the Flies scenario, trying to get out of this airport today. I texted her, hey. I rented, and it's called, in quotes, an elite SUV. That was the offering from Avis.
So I'm thinking it's like a J-Lo Range Rover. I'm I'm fine
maybe
with
a Hummer.
Miss Daisy knows that I am not driving, even though I offered.
She offers. There's no chance you're driving. Okay, I like to drive, number one. Yeah, I'm an excellent driver. But the point is, I want to drive. I'm an ex-cabbie, and I know the road well. 478-mile drive is what it's supposed to be. But if you're really bringing the heat on Route 80, if you're doing 90 miles an hour, as I was, okay, in 5 hours, how far have you gone? About 450 of those miles. Thank you. Hey, we rent this elite SUV. We get to the gate, and I want to be commended for how we get to the rental car counter because we strategized.
We absolutely did.
We knew it was going to be bedlam.
Yeah.
Okay, we knew this is the way it was going to go. So we got onto the rental car shuttle.
Which was packed full, like sardines in a can,
there
and
were
then a couple
people hanging on the roof.
Yeah, it was like a C-130 leaving Afghanistan.
Yeah, it was crazy. People were just heaving babies over a barbed wire fence. Take them with you out of Cleveland.
We've got them.
Well,
got them in my office.
Most of them. Well, she's like, stand by the door. I'll get your bag and block everyone from getting off because we need to get to the counter first.
But if you've ever gotten off a rental car bus, whoever gets to the counter first gets the car.
Yeah.
And most of those people probably did not reserve cars.
No.
But they all wanted to elbow everyone else out of the way so they could be the one who escaped Cleveland.
And I sprint to the counter. And what do I immediately do? I show them my license and credit
You
card.
started flirting with the person behind the counter.
Of course, you got to have some game. Okay. Listen,
With
we're in
very
a
long nails, very long hair. and
yes,
a very deep voice.
a very deep voice.
Mhm.
I was talking to a woman behind the counter who was like, "You rented a premium SUV?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did, sweet thing." Like, "Hold on, honey, let me check that for you." They're like, "Well, how about it? Do you want a Camry?" And I was like, "Not really." They're like, "Well, it's the only car we have."
So yeah,
And
I
I was
want a
like,
Camry. No,
I was like,
Camry sounds
"Okay,
great.
miss, a Camry sounds great."
Yeah.
So we got the last car out of Cleveland and then drove 478 miles. But what did we do? And I feel bad about this, but we were actively rooting against the flight we were supposed to be
So
on.
the entire
to keep-
time Jimmy's driving, and I keep refreshing the United app because I want to know, like, if that flight took off at 3 o'clock and landed at 4:30, I was going to be pissed
Yeah, because we could have gotten home quicker.
all I wanted was to be justified in our excursion,
And
our
did-
adventure.
And did we beat it back?
We beat it back by 2 hours.